Welcome to Trust the Cones.
What's up, guys? Welcome to podcast number 3. I'm Kev. I got Bill here.
Hey, what's going on?
We got 2 guests here. We have Dan and Alexis.
Hi.
Hi.
So they're Bucksmont Discord. They're kind of the founders of the whole thing. Dan's built a lot of the back end, and they've done a lot of the community building as well, with me and Bill, actually. Yeah. So we're going to talk about that today. So you want to read the question that we got?
Yeah, so we actually got a question from Drew, and he said he was listening to the podcast, and he's a level 38 trainer, and he joined, he heard about Discord recently, but he wanted to grow his community, and he had questions about how to do that, any thoughts or tips. So we thought it was a good idea to bring Dan here and talk about it.
Yeah, honestly, we think it's a cool enough topic that it warrants a whole podcast rather than just talking about it for a few minutes. Mm-hmm. So me and Bill have our thoughts, obviously. We figured we'd take people who really did all the work for the whole thing, too. So what do you guys think? Like, we have an awesome community. We have 1,600 members. I'd say about 500 to 600 are some level of actively engaged. Mm-hmm. I think a few pop out when different legendaries come, but I think that's our main core. But I think we're really engaged. People talk to each other. People hang out together, even when they're not playing Pokemon. Like, how did we build that?
Is it useful to talk about like the history of like how we got there?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
And talk about how it started. I mean, it's
first.
We use maps. We admit it. So
Yeah, we'll be candid. So like the origin, I guess, is I first found out about like the larger Bucksmont community from like the Facebook group. So there was like a Bucksmont and Montgomery County Facebook group. I think Lex originally found it and then it showed me.
Dan doesn't go on Facebook that much, so I was kind of scoping the scene, and I found it, and then...
So at some point, we didn't have like a map that covered our area, and then Tom Brewer, he put a map together, and people seemed to really like it at the time. Maps were like one of the few, like catching Pokemon was one of the few things you could do.
Right.
People were always posting spawns. But usually I noticed like they were too late to like for me to ever make use of it. I actually don't even really use maps anyway. But every time I noticed like somebody post a spawn and then be like, oh, I wasn't there, like I missed it.
Yeah, Facebook notifications for that kind of stuff are really delayed. So we realized we needed something that was, you know, more efficient and could, you know, quickly tell people when something spawned, because there's a limited amount of time that you can go to get it.
At some point after that, actually a friend of mine invited me to like a Discord server that was just like him and a couple buddies. It's like 5 people in there. And like a couple days after that, I was like, man, this would be like incredible for just like a feed of map notifications. And even though like we barely ever like use the map, like just like technically, the fact that it was like inefficient on Facebook was like enough to like make me want to start it to like help out people. So I just made a Discord and called it Bucksmont. And then I went on the Facebook group and I was like, hey, Tom, do you want to like set up your map to like put a feed on here? And then like Tom's like, this is the official Bucksmont Discord group.
You know, at the same time, I didn't know you guys at all.
Right.
I'm messaging Tom like every week, like, you gotta get a Discord.
Yeah.
You gotta set up notifications. Because, you know, we have the Philly map in our area is fantastic. And really, that guy runs a lot of maps all over the country or whatever, or the world. And that's integrated with Discord and it gives good alerts and stuff like that. And I was like, we need that here.
Yeah.
So you did it.
Yeah, so I mean, we set that up and it was pretty quick. And then we had a couple of people from the Facebook group, like Mike V came over, became a mod. And Alex, who has the Bucksmont map now. And people just started like joining, and I think like up until that, you know, while we had the map, up until maybe, I want to say, a little over a year ago.
Right about the time Go Fest happened.
Yeah. We only had like a couple hundred people on the server.
It was less than that. It was 30. Yeah. It was 35 at one point, and it got up to around like 80-ish. I remember.
Okay. Yeah. I can't. I wish I could go back and see like the history. I should pull out everybody's like join date and see. But anyway.
Yeah, but then you know, remember when I deleted 200 people by accident?
Oh yeah, that's right. We'll get to that one.
Yeah. It was really the raids that changed everything.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. So we met a lot of people through that, but then when the raids. It was especially like there were 2 bumps. There was when the raids first came out, people started joining because Discord for raid coordination is like unparalleled to like anything else.
Why is that?
Well, we can speak from an example where when we were on Facebook, raids first came out. Someone posted a raid for Blastoise, which we talk about a lot on Discord because it's kind of like a running joke. Said he was going to show up. He posted this, there's a raid, there's Blastoise, I'm going to show up. So we went on Discord where there were only a few people at the time, and we recruited another person, Deathcry.
Yeah.
And it ended up that the original person who posted the raid never showed up. So it's just the three of us. We tried to take down this Blastoise, but it was impossible because it was just the three of us. We were very low leveled at the time. We needed more people. We could have done it if that original guy had shown up.
Yeah.
But there just wasn't really a lot of there wasn't a big way to notify people to get them on from the people on Facebook to get them to the place in time for the raid. So stemming from that, we were from now on we're gonna make sure there's enough people to get this done, so we don't waste time running around trying to do raids that we can't do with enough people. So I mean the Discord, once we figured out that raids were you need to set time, you need to coordinate with other people, you need to be organized. It was Facebook is not working for that.
Yeah, it's just the general lack of real-time communication.
Yeah, absolutely.
That guy, I think we posted on there and then he didn't respond for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So it's when it was early days, you said up to 80 people, we didn't have any tools on Discord to help. It was just the channels. We could split up into a couple channels and coordinate, because there was never more than 10, 20 people trying to get to one raid at once.
Yeah.
When legendary raids happened is when our Discord really blew up.
It went from 300 to 1,000 over 8 days or something.
Yeah. It was the days I remember that day where we went to go do that. It was Articuno at that church in Willow Grove.
In Willow Grove, where we all
That's my background picture for Twitter if people want to see it.
Yeah. And I feel after every raid after that, recruited more people to Discord. And
Bill was a big part of that.
Yeah.
Helping out.
Yeah, I remember when raids first came out, it actually got me back into the game a little bit more, because I was very casual before that. And I remember going to my first ever raid. I just was driving around, randomly showed up. It was a Tyranitar. There was a decent amount of people there, but nobody knew anything about the counters or anything like that. And we failed 4 different times. And I was just I'm out of here. I'm going home. So I went home, and the next day I was at work, and I was all right, after work I'm gonna drive around and see what other raids I can find. And I happened to be driving by. It was actually July 3rd. We got out early for the holiday. And I went to the Olive Garden, Willow Grove, and I saw a little group standing out there, and I was oh, sweet, let me turn in here real quick. And I pulled up, and I started walking over. They're oh, you here from Discord? I'm here from what? They're Discord. I was I have no idea what you're talking about. And I was let's just do this raid. So we did the raid, and they're oh, we're going to another one after this. So we went over to the other raid, and that's when actually MVP gave me the link to the Discord, and it was just a mess from there.
that first raid had so many old heads, Andre and MVP, and you obviously.
Yeah, Mixtape was there.
Yeah, exactly. It was a lot of people who ended up being our core group of raiders for a long time.
Yeah.
And some you got the Discord link that day, Andre got it that day.
Yep. And then I mean the biggest thing is basically at every single raid after that I was hey, you on Discord? Hey, you on Discord?
Yeah. Right.
Hey, you on Discord?
Yeah.
And I mean
I feel us combined we probably got 1,000 people on the Discord,
easy.
Just from
easy,
recruiting and spamming it. And
I mean, that's the best way to actually get your community to grow.
Yeah.
Is just ask everybody at the raids and stuff like that.
Of course, yeah. If you don't recognize someone, you're oh, what's your name on Discord? If they don't have one,
exactly. Yep.
Help them out.
An idea we thought of after the fact, we were already big at this point, was to make little business cards or little cards that have the invite code on it, so you can just hand it out. Oh, you're on Discord. Here's the code. Yep. Because I actually memorized the code. I'm not going to say it now. I could say it if I needed to. On everyone that's flooding our Discord. But I think that being able to give that code out quickly is good. And then you're at a raid. You're going from one to the next to the next. Mm-hmm. You don't want to stop and teach someone how to use Discord.
Yeah.
It's handing them the card. It goes a really long way.
Yeah,
so that's something I would have done differently.
I actually have a bunch of random phone numbers in my phone, just of people that I text the link to. I was hey, this won't expire.
Yeah.
Once you download the app, just click this link, you'll join. If you have any questions, this is my name. Send me a message. I'm happy to help. So.
Right.
But that said, as you go to build a community, like taking the time with people and like showing them how to use Discord and showing them the functionality. Like I skew older than some Pokemon players, not much older, but there's people who are older than me who are just like scared off by Discord, you know, and Facebook just makes so much more sense to them. And I think if you can take 5 minutes and say, here's what we have, here's what we do with it, it's really easy, you know. I think that helps. I
think the one-on-one kind of personalization sometimes helps with other people. Like, I know that a lot of times it's some older people will come up to us and ask like how to do something, or even someone who's never heard of Discord before. And if you just take like a couple minutes and you show them how to do it, and then like you kind of get to talking with them, I think it helps with the community too, because you get to know more people. So
we had a disaster early on as far as just the number of people. We had a flood of people, and we had no organization in our Discord at all.
Yeah, our raids channel was a mess.
Yeah, it was called Raid Lobby, and there were hundreds of people, and everyone was really into getting legendaries, Lugia and Articuno, talking at once. In our area, we spawned like a few different like big-ish towns, so people were in different places trying to talk to each other, and it was a mess. So how'd you fix that?
So luckily, I happen to be a software developer, but there's actually a lot of solutions now. But I wrote a bot basically. So Discord, like you can have multiple channels, as you guys probably know, but you can't have easily like threaded conversations. So it's not like you can say, hey, I want to do this raid, and then like everybody kind of like starts a thread under there and it's like private. Everything's just in the channel. So this bot that I wrote essentially lets somebody announce a raid, which creates like a private channel, and then somebody can like react to the message and it adds them to that channel. So they get their own little place to talk and coordinate, which is what Discord is good at. Just let people like, you know, communicate privately and organize. And then they just like go to the raid, and then added like features on top of that to like help people coordinate, like find out how many people are in the raid and like tag them, just the people that are there and all that stuff. So the raid bot, I think, really helped us when we got that like legendary raid bump, when we hit up like to 1,000 people. It let the community not split into like many Discords, because that would have been kind of like the alternative. Definitely. Would have been like Willow Grove gets a Discord, Warminster gets a Discord, Doylestown gets a Discord.
We actually fought against that too. There was a couple of groups that wanted to splinter. Yeah. And we're like, you know, long term we're going to be better off sticking together. Like, you know.
Yeah, because a lot of people travel around to the different areas as well too. Yeah. And it would be really annoying switching between Discords to try and find them. So the bot was amazing. It's amazing.
I mean, we live in Warrington, and we kind of live in the middle of two kind of bigger groups of Doylestown and Ambler and Upper Dublin kind of are these like... so we're in the middle, so it's nice to see what's going on in Doylestown, see what's going on.
I was a little selfish too. Like we didn't have a big, Warrington doesn't have a big raid thing, but I like being able to go wherever. Yeah. So
that makes sense. Just so everyone knows, we're about where I live, about 20 minutes north of Philly, and then Doylestown, which you mentioned, is probably 45 minutes north of Philly. So it's a Philly suburb. There's trains to go there and stuff. There's people who work in the city live out here, and so we're about, I'd say 4 different like 60,000 people towns that kind of congregate where most of our raids are.
It's a very large area that we cover.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So without organization, that would be impossible. Without having all the different channels, I think that really helps. But just kind of give you an idea of what we are versus what other people may be. I mean, if you have like a 100-person play group in one town, it's a different setup. You don't necessarily need a lot of channels or notifications. Yeah. You know, one thing can go. So Dan eventually set up all kind of tags and everything. So, you know, there's a Lugia raid in this town, and if you lived in that town and wanted a Lugia raid, you get a notification about it. And it made things so much easier. We integrated a bunch of different things, like if someone found something in the wild, they could post, oh, wild so-and-so. It kind of just, the area tags really grew a lot of different things over time. Yeah. So we had these 1,000 people, right? Now 1,200, 1,400 or whatever.
More than that.
Well, now it's 1,600, yeah, at this point. At some point, we kind of became a community and not just a bunch of people raiding together.
Yeah.
So let's all talk about how that happened and what we did to kind of build that and keep it.
Yeah, so I feel like the community really started right around GoFest. It may have been also that like increase of legendary raids, but like that's like around the time where we actually started like meeting together and doing like meetups. I think like that helped because we kind of started to like get to know each other better, like hang out.
Yeah, so when GoFest happened, I remember someone mentioned, I think it was Kev Draco Boots, he mentioned, why don't we all get together and do a cookout at Monduck, which we never ended up doing the cookout because we were all searching for the Pokemon to collect for GoFest. So, you know, we hung out there for a couple hours. First time we met you and a bunch of other people that we hadn't met at raids before. And so it kind of, you know, spawned off from there. We had a couple other community events before Community Day. We made t-shirts and sweatshirts, we merchandise so that, and you know, we could sell it to our members, and then so we would meet more members basically, because you know, like everyone had to come get.
Well, but it's like a poke. You have a shirt on right now.
I have a shirt on right now. Yeah, so
doesn't
like
help anyone run a podcast, but
if you see someone with
they've seen me wear it.
Yeah, that's fair.
So much.
If you see someone with the shirt or the sweatshirt on, you know they're part of Bucksmont. You know, it's kind of like a little bit of an icebreaker. So like when you see someone with that shirt on, you're like, oh, you know, they're a part of my community. I can just go up and talk to them about stuff. It's not like weird if I'm like, oh, are you playing Pokemon? You know, when someone's standing there looking at their phone. But so we had a couple like community events. We did kickball and all this kind of stuff just to get like people more engaged. And then Niantic started coming out with Community Day, so it amped it up a little bit more for us. And,
I also think, you know, we had like the first like year was like very devoid of features in the game. And I think that when you have like a community like that, if you can also kind of like expand it to like other kind of like related interests so that you can keep people like active in the community talking, like Pokemon Go is like not, you know, obviously like there's all the game mechanics that we like, but it's also a game where you get out, you have to like cooperate with other people, you go out and you walk around, and there's time to like talk and get to know people, which makes the community stronger. And doing that like in your online presence, like in your Discord, we have like sports channels and like general chats. We have chats about like the main series. We have like a sub community that does like the Pokemon main series games, and they talk about like other games and they play together in different ways. So we try and kind of like expand it to other interests, and I think that helps to keep people like engaged in periods of like drought for the game.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I think one of the things we've been really cool about is we've been very inclusive.
Yep.
And it can be tough sometimes because some people get on your nerves and you want to, you know, make them go away. But the reality is, by accepting all, you make everyone feel welcome and more people want to join. And, you know, you don't want those bad experiences where you're trying to build a group up and someone gets kicked out or someone has an argument and all of a sudden I don't want to be in Discord, you know.
Well, you just have one mod that does all that. And his name's Chaos Bill.
Chaos Bill's our dad cop. We have lots of good cops.
Sometimes he's Chaos Bill, sometimes he's Order William.
Order William.
So we set rules early on, and one of the key rules was absolutely no outside drama in Discord ever. And we've been vigilant about deleting anything that started like that. You know, we'll delete the post and then DM both members, like, take this away, you know? Sometimes it's like a Pokemon thing that becomes an argument. Sometimes there's like personal stuff that leads to it. So I think that's been epically important. It's just kind of making it, we're here to talk about Pokemon and we're going to raid together, so everyone be nice to each other.
I think it's gone pretty well. We haven't had to ban too many people. I think our ban list has, what, like maybe 5 or 6 people on it. So, and it was just a couple of people like coming in and trolling and things like that. There was only 1 or 2 times where it was actual drama. You know, so it's been good.
I agree.
So Dan and Alexis are good about keeping contests going to get us excited. You want to talk about some of the contests? They've been pretty cool.
Oh yeah, so that was another thing. So like, because we sold merch, one of the things we wanted to do was kind of give people prizes and incentives to kind of like stay engaged. So what we often do is we hold kind of like, it'll last maybe like a week or something. It'll be like a contest, and the goal is to find or catch or hatch or do some kind of like random thing in the game. So like everybody kind of has like an equal chance of getting it. The more you play, the more likely you are to get it. But you may or may not be tied to like a kind of grinding reward. So an example, at one of our meetups, we did like a bug catching contest.
That was my favorite by far. That was clever.
So that was like, for people who don't know, that's like a throwback to the
main series game.
Gold and Silver. There was every like Saturday, Tuesday, and Thursday there was like a bug catching contest. You catch like the biggest or strongest bug, and there was like a bunch of rules for it. But we wanted to find like the one that was like the biggest height and weight. So basically, like, everybody was like all around trying to find like the biggest bug they could, which normally they would never even like try and catch them, right? And it was like anything during that day, so it was like for like a 24-hour period. And then we had like prizes that we gave away, and we gave away like plushes and like gift cards and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Go Plus too.
And a Go Plus.
Yeah, we had some donations from the community for prizes, which was really cool. Especially the Go Plus, because that's kind of like a more expensive item, and movie tickets, things like that, which is really great. Like to see people kind of come together to help out with the contest.
Yeah.
People really want the prizes too. Even like
Yeah.
now that we have the pins and everything like that,
Yeah.
people really want those pins. They like actually try really hard for it. It's really cool.
Yeah. And so we continue that with like various things. I think we had the Olympics that you guys talked about that.
Not on the podcast yet, but
oh, okay.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it later in the podcast.
Okay.
Yeah, at some point. I think short stories. We did a competition with like raid solos and catches and gym battles and all kind of different things, and basically had gold, silver, and bronze medals split everyone up by town, so everyone had their little team they were supporting. And I would say that some of that was really good for engagement in community. I know like within the communities everyone got closer. There's definitely a fair share of drama and competition and stuff. So
Oh yeah, always in competition.
Yeah.
Everybody
It's
wants
true.
to win. I'm still bitter.
of course. It's one of those things where Pokemon itself, like there's a mild competition aspect of it. You know, you're knocking gyms down, but it's such a small part of the game at this point, and the community, whether it be calling out raids now that we don't have maps, or raiding together when we do have maps or when we're out raiding, or even just saying like, hey, there's this really good task if you go to this Pokestop. Like all that stuff's important. So if you give people the place to go and do that, like Discord's gonna kind of survive on its own.
Yeah, I think the Olympics helped our community be smarter players, if I would say anything.
Definitely.
Oh yeah, that's
Definitely.
Yeah.
That was the goal of it. I mean, that wasn't the stated goal.
Yeah.
But like that was, I told you it from the beginning.
Yep,
like, this is what I want. By the end of this, I want everyone to be focused on soloing. And
Yeah, it's really funny because I'm a very casual player. I wouldn't have considered myself like short manning anything. And the other day, you know, Dan's like, oh, well, we're going to try and do this Latios raid just with me, you know, and his mother, who is level 32. And I was like, there's no way we're going to be able to do this. And he convinced me to put all this rare candy and Stardust into, you know, my Rayquazas,
the next morning, it popped at our house.
And I was like, you know what, this is fun.
Yeah.
I was like, you know, maybe I should try this more often.
It's definitely an adrenaline rush the first time you do a short man like that.
Yeah.
It's fun.
And that's neat because, like, you know, we have 1,500 members playing the game 1,500 different ways. And we try to give places where people can share how they play and talk about what they do. And, you know, like you would have never short man, but because we've been talking about it and we've been going for records and such, it's rubbing off a little bit. You
exactly.
know? We have a guy in our Discord who collects level 1s. And, you know, other people do it too. And they show them, oh, look, I got this one today. And it's fun, you know?
Yeah.
You got the shiny collectors.
Oh, God, we have a few hardcore shiny collectors, you know? We have our little subset of 100 collectors who all talk together and compete, like casually compete. You know, you're not actually competing or whatever. But I think, again, giving the place to talk and be a community is where that comes from. You know.
Yeah.
Do one of you guys want to talk about daily Discord discourse?
Oh yeah, that was a great idea. One of our mods, Keith, joined. He had the idea to start this channel called Daily Discord Discourse. The general idea was it was either a mod or user submitted question. And it was like a question of the day, and then like everybody just like responded to it, and you got like these like really interesting discussions going on. I think it's like the first time I found out like what everybody did. Like there's jobs or questions like, you know, what is your day job, like what do you like to do in your free time, to like what are your favorite Pokemon, like what are your favorite shows, like all kinds of things just to get to know one another.
Yeah, favorite place to play. So we actually all learned a lot of different places to play.
Yeah.
Like that
Oh
as well,
yeah,
too.
that one was good.
Yeah.
We tried to alternate like Pokemon and non-Pokemon related to kind of keep people engaged in different ways.
Yeah. And the daily, like the thing is like those things, like in the beginning it was like daily Discord discourse. Now it's probably like people post like once a week or something, but it still goes. But like it's a really good way to kind of get to know like your fellow players.
Also, another thing we did when we first started out was have that one channel where everyone kind of went in, said their in-game name, their names, their level, just to kind of get a player base going. People don't do it anymore because we don't have the channel, but you know, when we first started, because there was such an influx of people, it was kind of like a good way to get an idea of who everyone was. Then as you raid with them, you know, you get a better idea for who's who.
Yeah.
But that was also kind of like a good starting point,
Yeah.
you know, of getting people to kind of open up about who they are and kind of, you join, you know, why don't you tell them your in-game name, your team.
The Discord's definitely going to evolve as your community evolves as well too. So that was good, you know, for us at that point in time.
Right.
Now we don't really need that as much anymore. People kind of just, you know, we're such a big community now that they'll get to know each other through talking and stuff like that. So
on that same vein, I'll say, you know, the community definitely does evolve, and if you start one, don't be discouraged if people leave. I remember when we first started, and it was like, you know, like the 80 person. When the gym rework happened, there was like, I mean, maybe some people be mad if I say this, but there was a lot of salt when that gym rework happened. And there were guys, like I remember a few people by name that like, they just like quit. Like
it was the gym rework and raids turned quite a few people off who were map chasers.
Yeah.
Because they were chasing these 100% Pokemon
and Dragonite, fully powered Dragonites to put in stay in gyms.
Yeah, to stay in gyms. You know, these really high level, like 3,000 CP Blissies.
Yeah.
You know, and then once you know the raid started and the gym rework happened, where you can only put one of each Pokemon in a gym,
and you only got 50 coins.
People got a little bit.
I'm still mad about the 50 coin things. That one still hurts. Actually, the 5,000 dust is even worse. That was the best.
Yeah,
oh,
the dust. Yes, that will be missed.
But I mean, the game evolves, and like people who were very interested in certain aspects of the game, when those things go away, you know, they might leave. But I think the important thing is like keeping. We mentioned before, like you guys, like all like the old heads. You said, all the people you mentioned, those like regulars, those are the people that are like the most active, and they're responsible. Like they're the ones that like every day they go out, they announce, they coordinate raids, they like create like a presence and an activity for like everybody who may not not everybody may be the kind of person who like goes out and looks for like what raids are around. They may just like go on the Discord and like see what people are coordinating for, and if there's no activity there, they might not do anything. Having like that core group of like active people is like so important, I think, to like creating like making like a foundation for like building the larger thing.
No, I agree, and I think there was a period of time where we didn't need them as much because you know maps were up and people knew where stuff was. But in the last like week or two, without maps, like those are the people who are out again, like driving it. You know, like if they're not the ones finding it, they're talking to other people and saying, "All right, you look here, and you look here, and you look here."
Oh yeah.
Because I think we're a large suburban community. You know, the gyms are far apart.
You have to drive.
It's tough to have eyes on everything, so it's good to have people in the separate towns who are willing to kind of go out and look, and then post them so that you know everyone kind of gets an idea. Then when you're going from raid to raid, you start seeing more, so that you can let people know about. So,
have you guys spent any time in other Discords, other cities and such?
Yeah. So I've spent time in a couple other cities Discords, and a couple like ones nearby.
The only other one I've been on is Philly.
Okay. Should I name names?
If you want to. You don't have to.
So there was one Discord for a place where I used to work. It's like a smaller like suburban township. It doesn't have that many people in it. It's probably like maybe like 40 people. But like, man, it's like dead. Like I feel like its sole purpose is like simply to like do like one or two after work raids, and like there's barely any discussion in there. There's like nothing. Northeast Philly is like really active. I feel like
they were based off us in a lot of ways. I mean, like Chris was a member of our group before he went that way.
Yeah. When I go in there, like it seems like a lot very similar to like ours, like in terms of like
they may be tighter than us too. In all honesty.
Yeah, I mean definitely with raids and stuff like that, they know each other very well. I play with them a lot now, so they're a great group of people, and you know they have a great community like ours.
And they do a lot of stuff that we do, and we've stolen stuff from them in addition. Where just the engagement aspect and whether it be surveys or contests or You know, they have their 40 channel is a lot cooler than ours. So when you hit 40 in our channel, you just get a channel and it's private and you can talk and make fun of the peasants.
Yeah.
But
well, when I get into 40 channel, then it's gonna get kicked up a notch. I'm like, this sucks. What have you guys been doing?
But the
they have a public 40 channel where they announce when people hit 40. They do like pictures or graphic or something.
Oh,
like
that's
that.
cool.
It's really cool. And you know, I've seen other Discords that have like, so I travel a good amount, and whenever I travel, I always try to get in the local Discord and see what they're doing and coordinate. And that's the thing I've seen a lot is like 40 being a big deal, or like a great raid time being a big deal, and there being some kind of celebration of that. Mm-hmm. So I think that celebrating your community is important, and not always celebrating the same like 5 or 6 people either. Like trying to expand that out. In city Discords, it's so different than like the suburban Discords because we have to rely on each other so much.
Yeah.
Whereas, you know, in New York, or to a lesser extent Philly, it's someone talks about a raid and everyone goes, and that's it. Mm-hmm. I've been looking at the New York Discord a little bit with maps being down and stuff, and it was basically just that, you know?
Yeah.
When someone mentions a raid and then just go.
You either go or you don't, because there's going to be people there no matter what.
Oh yeah, you're going to be able to do it no matter what.
Yeah, I was in the Orlando raids one when I was down there, which was very helpful. I was able to get a bunch of different raids done down there and stuff.
So when I was in Vegas, I raided with 4 or 5 different groups of people over the course of the time. And that's similar to ours, and it covers a massive area. Mm-hmm. You know, it covers like downtown Vegas, but all the outlying towns as well. I guess more of their play is not in this downtown, in the strip or whatever. It's kind of around. And, you know, they have like segmented channels almost. So they have like the Henderson channel, and I don't know the names of anyone else but Henderson. But there's other like towns or cities around Vegas, and you know, all the coordination is done in channels.
That's how it seemed like the Orlando one was, and then also the Baltimore one that we joined recently.
Yeah, that's true. It's a good point.
Yeah. When I went to Portland, but this was like pre-gym rework, so it was really different. I think they actually have like a really strong community down there, or up there.
Okay.
I just remember like the entire time I was like on our Discord chatting, I'd probably find like logs of me when I sat down at the gym at that like stadium, and it literally took me an hour to take down like a 10 Felicity gym and put my toga tick on there.
Yeah, I mean, that is one thing that you'll hear from our community, and not to put any other Discords down or something, but you know, when our players travel and then they come back, they're like, man, we missed our Discord. There's no Discord like ours.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. So I mean, I imagine that a lot of Discords say that about their own Discord, because they do it their own way, and I think it's along those lines. Do we have much more to cover? I feel like
I mean, we could move on to you actually had a question for
I want to talk about this tool first. I think we'll go that direction first and then do the question last.
Go for it.
If that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I think just the takeaway from what we've said, it's do it, get out and hand people cards if you have to get them to join, you know, tell them why they should join. Give them some way to coordinate that's better than Facebook. Mm-hmm. Depending on your area, you may need to build some channels, get one of the bots or something to do it for you, to get some kind of structure, but just give them some order. And then once they're there, engage them.
Yeah, the community itself is really what makes the community.
Yeah.
And then you have to have awesome mods like me. And then
obviously.
I will say that. So you brought that up as a joke or whatever, but it is true. I think that like making sure if you're going to start a community that you have like you bring on people to help you. Like having good moderators. Like you cannot do it all yourself, especially as it grows. Mm-hmm. It is so important. Not just for like the policing aspect, but also for like all the ideas that everybody brings. Everybody that's like in this room right now was like an admin or a mod, and was like very valuable in their input and like helping the community become what it became, as well as like all the other mods.
Yeah, and I know that Dan relied like really heavily on me to kind of do a lot of things while he was working. You know, like he's working all day and he's like, you know, I can't really, if I can't get on Discord, like I need you to like take care of something for me. So like he's like, or any of the mods, you know, he's like relied on, you know, us to kind of do things when he wasn't around to be able to do it, like to help people. Like we had when we first started the bot, when we had the raid organizers.
Raid coordinators.
Raid coordinators. Yeah. So like they were just people who raided a lot, like who were able to help us out, like the mods, you know, help people figure out how to start raids, join raids, you know.
And it was like a trickle down effect, because like we taught them and then they taught everybody else.
Yeah, and they taught everyone else. Yeah, so I think it's good to have like some good people kind of on your side. You don't have to do it all alone.
You know what I like though is you always had your vision, and you were always very clear. I'm talking towards Dan as a point. You guys can't see that. you always knew what you wanted out of the Discord, and you kind of like let all of us as mods know, like, you know, this is how it's going to be, and not micromanaging details, but like big picture, like we're going to be inclusive and things like that. You know, we're gonna. I don't know what else you said. It was good though.
Yeah. We have a we don't have to go too far into it, but we don't have a strict. We are inclusive. I will just say that.
Yeah. You can say, I mean, we talk openly in the podcast. Say whatever you want.
If you're gonna spoof, you're gonna spoof.
Yeah,
If you're gonna use maps, you're gonna use maps. I mean, we don't really.
I just won't like you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The individual mods will hate you. If someone was spoofing and they weren't affecting other players, like, we didn't necessarily call them out or anything about it. But at the same time, we never asked for air support. Like, we basically...
We don't encourage it, but we don't...
It was almost like don't ask, don't tell.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was, and a vast majority of the players are, like, legitimate players.
Yeah.
I think the only time I ever found some person that was, like, a spoofer on the Discord was when we ended up getting that EX raid, where we were, like, went to go do a raid, and, like, he's like, what time are you guys doing it? And, like, we said it, and then we were there, and, like, he was in the lobby, and we're like, where is we're, like, in the middle of the woods. Like, there's no other place. Like, all right, well...
So, I mean, our Discord, the individual players, well, if they see a spoofer in the room, they'll commonly back out.
Yeah.
Maybe do a private lobby.
Yeah, exactly. I like to do it because they lose a pass. It's kind of fun.
Yeah.
But, so there's that within the people in the community, but us ourselves, we never kicked someone out for spoofing.
Right.
You know, even people who we know did.
Yeah.
But,
And that question was asked very early, I remember.
Yeah.
I remember, you know, they were like, what do we take, are we going to ban spoofer? And I was like, I don't want to police people's, like, you know, accusations of, like, other spoofing. Because, like, on that slap all the time on the Facebook, like, thing, like, this guy's a spoofer, blah, 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 blah.
I've been one calling people out.
I've been called a spoofer before.
Yeah.
You gotta be kidding me.
I brought up people who are actually spoofing.
But that's where that, like, no drama rule comes in. Like, just, like, you know, as long as people aren't, like, you know, doing something, like, overtly, like, terrible, like, just keep it out of the Discord. Like, we're just here to play.
And, and I mean... It's really hard to stand on your high horse and talk about how people shouldn't spoof when at the time we were a mapping site.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's, you know, I mean, we're clearly breaking terms of service, and yeah. So I think that helped because it left that piece of drama out. On the other hand, I've seen a lot of Discords. San Diego comes to mind where they actively ban spoofers. They have a bot that will detect if you have any spoofer Discords in like that you're part of. And they'll kick you out because of it, and they publicly say it. Right,
like
so there's a law, it's like a shame thing, you know.
It's like the shame bell.
So and that Discord's great. I mean, they have a great community. They had a bunch of YouTubers come out recently, and like when I was out there, it was really easy to find a raid, and the conversation was fun, and people were engaged and such. So it maybe whatever works for us. I think us having so few spoofers kept it from being a problem too. It's not like we had a lot of people who were an issue.
Who really wants to spoof in the suburbs? I mean,
yeah, I'm surprised by that when I see that.
Yeah.
You can go anywhere in the world.
Yeah, exactly.
Go to Montgomery County, Pennsylvania.
So what did you want him to touch on? Like,
so what are you working on now? I think it's exciting.
Oh yeah, it is kind of exciting. So when we made, like, so when I wrote the bot to do like our raid coordination, there wasn't like anything. Since then, there have been like a couple tools. So the biggest one is like Meowth bot, which is like what many Discords use. You can like kind of like self-host it or they host it for themselves. And at some point, I kind of like stopped maintaining it. But now I've come into some more free time to work on projects, and I'm basically I've rewritten it, and it's kind of like in a closed access period. Like we're trying it on our Discord first, but it's called Pokenav, and maybe I'll come and talk about it in more detail. But it's basically
preview it now.
Yeah,
more down the road.
My goal is really like it's not necessarily just to create like a better raid bot, coordination bot, which it is. I view it as kind of like a tool that will help people set up communities easily and kind of try and like connect those communities, like make them not so much like isolated islands. I think that like the Sylph Road, the Sylph League bot does that to some extent, and it puts like everybody like on a map. But like one thing that we're, for example, I'm working on to build, which hopefully next week we'll share a little preview of, is essentially like cross-server raid coordination. So like have like your bot, you can announce like all your raids in the bot, But then there's also ties to a web app that shows like for all your Discords, like all the raids that are active, and like a map, a user generated map that you can kind of like join and create raids directly from. So it's kind of like it's going to hopefully help to create communities more easily, but at the same time not make them like so isolated in terms of like people kind of like have like their own Discord. And at the same time make it maybe easier for people to coordinate in Discord that would otherwise be intimidated by. Like I'm amazed often at how many people are in our Discord that don't know how to announce the raid or join the raid. This will hopefully like lower that. And then I'm gonna maybe expand into some other things. But yeah, if you're starting a Discord community, maybe you can reach out to me and I can help him.
I'm gonna put your Discord contact. What's the best way to contact you?
Twitter.
You can put them. Yeah, Twitter's better.
I'll put your Twitter in the comments of the video.
Yeah.
So that'll be on YouTube.
Yeah. It's at IDPips.
Yeah.
Oh, that's it. That's easy.
Yeah, IDPips.
I'll still put it in the comments.
Yeah.
But I realize I don't know how to put comments in a podcast post. So yeah.
But right now the bot is integrated with ours and a new Discord that started up.
Okay.
And we have interest from like Monaco, Chesco too.
Well, the stuff you were using before has other Discords use that, the one you made in the first place, right?
Correct. So it's you can like set it up. It's open source. It's no longer maintained, but it's you can like set it up yourself and launch it. The Pottstown Discord uses a fork of it, so they just took it when it was early days, modified it to their own use, which is the whole point of making it open source.
Right.
And then like a couple other people, like random people, have used it. It doesn't have as big a user base as Meowth does.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one is like I manage the bot entirely and like keep it up for everybody, and they just add it. The goal, one of the kind of like unwritten goals I have of it is that you can just create a server, invite it, and kind of like set up a Discord like we have in like under 20 minutes.
That'd be great.
That'd be awesome.
So
you don't get the people, obviously.
You don't get the people, but you get all the features.
No, it's great.
Yeah, I'm loving it. It's made me want to hit 40 times 2.
Oh yeah.
Just another update. I'm so close. I'm under 4 million now.
Well, talk about the badges and stuff that you're talking about doing. It's pretty cool. Are you ready to talk about that yet?
Yeah, that's a future feature. It's not something we talked about. So one thing, if you are in a Discord community right now, the Self Road has like badges that you can award, right? But the Self Road controls like when the badges go out and like when they can be awarded and stuff. I always thought it would be really cool, like in the same way we do contests, if like communities could like make their own badges and assign their own badges. And we talked about like one early application of this is like badges for raid solos.
I love this so much.
Badges.
Exactly.
A badge for every tier 3 raid boss. So you post it, and then a mod or whoever is like in charge of proving it.
What happens when you get a world record?
Nice badge.
I think the world records are managed by some others. So,
but no. So I love this as someone who's trying to get the community to start doing stuff. If there's like a active reward for soloing, all of a sudden the conversation is going to be, I can't solo this boss. How do I do it?
Yep.
And then we're not saying, oh, just use these guys. We're saying, well, here's how you find out who to use. You know. And over time, a community grows, and all of a sudden, we're not using agrons at raids, and we're going in like 5-person groups all the time.
You'd be like really surprised. People they're not familiar with the counters or
type advantage
or
anything else.
So
it recommended this.
Yeah.
So that's why I should use it.
Right?
Yeah. I love this idea so much. Like, that's why I wanted to talk about it.
And I'm not by any means going to take like original credit. We talked about it, but I think like this is like a proven case of interest, like that the Self Road like Venomoth challenge.
Oh yeah.
I want to do that so bad. I got my like level. I have my like level 35 perfect attack Venom. I have to power it up a little bit more probably, but I'm waiting for an Executor in the Rain. I still haven't seen one.
Yeah.
But I really want to do that. So that's like just one case. People like they.
No, and that's great, and that's exactly what the community needs, and that's a good one because everyone can do it. But different areas are at different levels. Like a city is going to have more higher level players just because of the thing, and the amount of raids they can do. They're going to have more rare candy and different legendaries. Whereas the burbs, it's less raids and less power level, and you give your Discord admins the ability to kind of tailor that to their own group. Yep. And I think it's a great idea.
Yep.
I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
All the badges.
Dan's gonna need to hire a workforce. And by that he means me, because he's been trying to figure out. We only have one laptop at home right now because we kind of like condensed everything to like one computer, and he's like, oh well,
now I need
how
more
can
computers.
I get you to help me? Because I also did
software engineering.
Yeah, so he's like, I haven't
double
done it
double
in a
my
few years.
power.
Yeah, double his power by outsourcing his wife.
Yeah.
You guys could work like 12 hours a day and then alternate childcare and sleep and stuff. It'd be great.
And this is why we have the best Discord.
No, and that's sappy, but it's completely true. So early on, one of the coolest things we did is Bill and I and some of the other mods organized a party, and we didn't tell these two that it was for them, you know. And the community was so happy.
I thought that it was just like we were just gonna say
Thought it was a
happy
birthday,
birthday to Dan.
Yeah, that was my idea, you know. Like, you guys have to be there. We got to do this at a set time. So we went around and asked everyone, like, hey, they built this map, they built this community, let's give something back. And we were hoping to get like $2 or $3 from people or whatever. People were handing over 20s and like doing all kind of stuff, and like it was like $850 in collections.
It was over 700. I know that.
And it was absurd, and
it was very generous.
Yeah, it was.
But it just shows how appreciated they are for what they've done.
Absolutely.
And when you build that good community and give people something happy, like
My favorite part was the poster, though.
Dude, that poster. There's a podcast picture thumbnail for you. I'll send you a picture of it.
that'd be great.
Oh, yeah.
I have that hanging up in my office. Like, I see it every day. It's awesome.
I love that poster.
They'll talk. It was your idea. So talk about it.
Yeah, I just thought, something more than just the money, though. Like, just to show what kind of community we have. So I just found a poster on Amazon, ordered it, got it in, and I just brought it to every single raid I went to, gave it to a couple of the other mods to bring it to the raids that they went to, and just got as many people to sign it as possible. There's still some people that didn't get to sign it. They're like, oh man, I wish we got to sign that. And I was like, we tried, but
Dan should start bringing it around.
And you know what? Sometimes I look at it and I talk to people on the Discord, like where I think for the first time, and I go over the poster and I like see their name on there, and I'm like, holy shit, this person like has been here a long time, and like it just reminds me like how good of a community we have. Like the people stick around.
I mean, for almost a year.
Yeah, it's going to be a year in a few weeks.
July 3rd is going to be my
Your
1 year.
Yeah.
Where were you hiding for
I don't know.
2 months?
I was casual. I was super casual player. That's why I went from level 27 to 40 after joining the Discord. So
You started the Discord. I think I was on it in like 30 seconds.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. Get that map and get the cards.
I remember. Yeah, I remember.
Did you ever talk about your hangouts
at war? Yeah.
Because I mean that kind of got like some people in the community together. I mean, we never would have gone home at night to kind of just sit.
Yeah.
Talk about it.
Yeah. I mean, there's just a local park with 3 stops that you can hit all from sitting in this one area, and it was summertime, so pretty much every single night after raids were done, I would go there. I'd lure it up, and just more and more people kept coming.
The park doesn't close. You can be there 24 hours a day.
Well, technically it closes, but the cops really they don't care. They'll stop sometimes. They're like, oh hey,
yeah,
people still play
they were
this
always
game?
nice. Yeah. Always people still play this game.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, because I think they kind of realized that we weren't there to cause any trouble or anything like that. If anything, it was kind of a community watch. We would keep trouble away.
Yeah.
We were very good about making sure we cleaned up after ourselves as well too. I was very adamant about that. Anytime, like we've had cookouts there and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And just make sure you clean up after yourself if you're going to do something like that. Just be very respectful, and it definitely brought a core member of our group together. And stuff.
I thought it was fun. We went a few times. We kind of got on at the end.
Yeah, we did.
Of summer, but
Summer's coming.
And
I'm so excited for the
we
week.
were
No
all
idea.
following Bill's journey to 40.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
we were there to support Bill on his journey.
And it was so funny because like sitting at that stop and farming is like the worst way to get to 40 in the world. But it was so much fun that I didn't have to stop doing it. Like,
I mean, I knew there were definitely better ways to do it, but it was just, you know, after going out raiding and driving around and doing all that, like, because we are in the suburbs, you know, we're not hitting them as easy.
There's not a lot of places to walk around in the dark.
Yeah,
you know?
And it was just nice and relaxing and stuff.
And what was good about it is you were there every day. Or if not you, usually someone, but you, and if there were 3 people there, you hung out with 3 people.
Yep.
And then there were 30 people there, you hung out with 30 people.
Yeah.
And I think the fact that everyone knew that when raids were done, you know, you go to war, sometimes Bill would buy his pizza, and like, like it was great.
Yeah.
So
some of the story. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I just think that if you're going to build your own community, it's
Be a
getting
part
more
of the community.
Yeah.
Just build it yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Go.
This may be like weird, like cheesy or whatever, but I sometimes like think about it. And I feel like you could totally make a documentary out of like our like Discord community, and somebody who does videography should do that documentary. Somebody.
But they would.
If they had their own YouTube channel, they could do their documentary.
But they would have missed all the.
Yeah, all the good video. We
All
only
the
got
good-
some of it.
yeah.
We only got
We
some.
started too
It
late.
can be like historical footage.
Yeah.
I have another sob story for related to the Discord if we're talking about like
Go.
like,
This is great.
good feeling
Yeah.
things. So like I got into Pokemon like really young, like a lot of people my age. Like I moved to the suburbs in like 6th grade, and there was this guy or this kid at the time I was like really good friends with who was also really into Pokemon. His name was Anthony Chima, and we went to different high schools, and like I still play Pokemon games and stuff, but I hadn't seen him in like almost 20 years. And like I have a gym like right behind our house that we go to. We went to like it was like a Lugia raid or something.
I don't know.
It was a Lugia raid, and I'm like, we can walk to it. I walk to it, and in comes Chima in his like red convertible. I haven't seen him in like 20 years. He looks nothing like his like 6th grade self. And I like met him for the first time.
Yeah, but you were friends with him on Facebook, so you knew what he looked like now.
I knew what he looked like, but like I not met him in person since like elementary school.
Yeah.
And I used to hang out at his house. We used to play like Pokemon cards and stuff. And I like met him for the first time. He got me into like the competitive like Pokemon battling and stuff. And like it's interesting how like the game can reconnect you with like old friends and like, you know, introduce you to new ones and stuff. So I don't know.
Well, I mean, Bill and I like probably would have never met each other without the game, and like we're besties now or whatever. And as we hang out together, it's like we're finding more and more common interests. That like it's funny that like, oh yeah, you did that, I did that.
Bill and Kev's Excellent Adventure.
Yeah, that's an episode name at some point.
Yeah, it should be.
No, it is for real.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, it's when we go to Florida next year.
Yeah.
Oh,
this
okay.
year.
Yeah,
It's totally happening. But
That's a good idea.
yeah. No, it's great. It's so. I mean, I love the community we've built. I love the people I've met. It's a fun time.
Definitely. It's
We're
been
getting
great.
so sappy at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's move on. You had a question for us actually, so we asked listeners to
Really quick, we asked listeners for questions. Clearly, we answered the question. We just made a podcast about a question.
Yeah.
So, like, you ask a question, like, we will answer your question.
Absolutely.
Whether you want us to answer it quickly or longly, you're going to get the long answer.
Definitely.
So that's at TrustTheCones, at TrustTheKev, at ChaosBill46 on Twitter, and also trustthecones@gmail.com. Or you can also comment on YouTube, too, and we'll answer it from there.
Yeah, wherever.
Yeah.
Leave us a comment and we'll find it.
You ask the question, we'll give you an answer.
Yep.
I instantly asked this question when I heard you guys.
So do you remember what your question is, or do you want me to read it?
You can read it.
Okay. So, so Dan asked, are we looking forward to PvP? How would you like to see it work? Do you have any concerns about impact it might have on the community? So I would definitely be looking forward to PvP.
I'm less so than you.
Yeah.
So you go first, talk about why, and I'll say why not.
I just think it just adds another aspect to the game. It was part of the original series. You know, you always want to put up your best Pokemon against somebody else's. So I think it'd be a lot of fun. A different, another way to play. I don't think adding another way to play is ever a bad thing.
So I've seen Niantic do things over and over again, which does not reward the people who go nuts and grind and do everything. I feel like there's a catch-up element, whether it's like weather boosted level 35s or double dust all the time or whatever it may be. So I fear that I spent a year and a half grinding this game like crazy, and I have this awesome collection, and I can like counter anything because I have everything maxed, and and I feel like they're gonna nerf it. And
they absolutely will nerf it.
And I'm gonna hate it. I mean, I feel like the amount of effort that I put in, and this is totally selfish, and I get that, but I feel the amount of effort I put in, I want to crush people.
Yeah.
And I think they're not going to let me do that, which is really good for them selling their game, but really, really bad for me crushing people. I would say, though, it would be really fun to play my kids.
Yeah.
I think that would be a good time. I think my wife and I would get divorced, like fighting over it, trying to see like who was better, and it would lead to some wars and everything.
So the second part of it was, how would you like to see it work? Definitely more charge moves. I don't think you really can. It would completely have to be a completely different battle system than what you see against raids and gyms now. It just won't work.
And then tap.
Yeah, it's just not going to do it.
I mean, adding the button was a nice little thing.
Definitely.
But like, I pictured having like, 2 buttons on the left, 3 buttons on the right, and like a dodge switch or something in the middle.
And I think it might have to go turn-based. It would have to do something like that, and then the IVs of your Pokemon are going to matter. If some are a little bit faster or something like that, you might get to attack first. So definitely it would be a completely different rework to do it right.
So going with like what you said about nerfing, so like one thing I always thought that they would do without a shadow of a doubt in my mind is ban multiple of the same types from a battle.
So you can't have like 2 Tyranitar.
Correct.
Yeah.
But you could have like Tyranitar and Houndoom.
Yeah.
Like type would be okay.
Correct.
Not 2 the same Pokemon.
Yeah,
because they do something similar in the when you battle someone. There's different types
rule
of
sets.
rules.
Yeah.
But one of the most common ones is
no duplicates.
no duplicates.
So I'd like that because I have a lot of individual max things.
But do you think that because that's kind of counter to what you do is like when you're doing for raids, right? Like you kind of have like a single or 1 or 2 of the best counters, and you're kind of like you're investing a lot in like a particular species, right?
I mean, the reality is that's boring.
Yeah.
Like,
It is. Yeah.
It's like how many times we sit in Town Champs against level 4s.
Right.
And that's...
Again, a different way to play the game.
Right.
It's going to get people to get more variety of good Pokemon and things like that as well, too. So.
Yeah. I fear it because I just don't know how they would do it.
Yeah.
So maybe if I had a better idea of like what they would actually do. I've never done PvP in the games before. Like you guys have all played Pokemon. I haven't. So you guys know how it works and know what to look forward to, whereas I don't. So
it's a lot more like chess than it is about like.
And that aspect sounds cool.
Yeah.
Thinking moves ahead and trying to figure stuff out.
Yeah, but again, it's just they're not going to be able to do it with the system they have now.
Yeah.
It's a whole rework that they would have to do.
So do you guys think they could ever just not implement it?
Yes.
Yeah, I think they can get away with not doing it. I'd like to see it though.
Yeah, I would too. It was in the trailer. It was
Yeah.
like they got to do it.
Yeah. Now, the other part was concerns about the impact. Of course.
Yeah.
I mean,
There's
people,
a way to rip a community apart.
That's my.
Yeah, I mean, people fist fight over gyms and stuff like that, so a battle, I mean, stuff like that can definitely happen.
Yeah.
So that part's a little bit scary, because people take things very seriously. I get upset sometimes when I'm like, man, I got kicked out of the gym.
Sometimes.
Yeah. Whatever. But like, I would never go and physically harm someone over the game,
obviously,
anything like that. Whereas there are people like that, it is a slight concern.
Well, not even that. I mean, we saw when we introduced competition into the Olympics, we had the side effect of drama.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like leaderboards sound awesome. I think that would be really cool if they had like PvP leaderboards. But like the drama that would go into that, people competing and like, well, I'm not going to fight you because I want to be on a leaderboard, or like just finding cheats to get higher on a leaderboard. And
see, and that's the other. There's definitely not going to be any rewards for PvP, I don't think, because people would abuse the system,
right?
Or you would only be able to battle a certain amount of times in a day to be able to get rewards for it, because otherwise people are going to definitely exploit that. You and your wife could battle all night long, whereas I'm home alone.
Again, divorce would happen.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying. Like there's definitely exploits that could happen because of it. Maybe like have a certain time during the day where people can PvP against each other. Like there's a time on raids or something like that where you would have to meet at a certain place to be able to PvP somebody as well too.
Yep.
So there's a lot of different things that could go into it. But I don't necessarily see that many negatives. I don't think there's that many people out there that would go crazy about it. But I think it's just, again, another way to play, and leaderboards, things like that. Bring a different part of the community.
Curious to see if they do it or when they do it.
I think right now everyone's kind of mixed up in quests, so I think that's going to keep people...
That's going to keep people for... Well, I mean, I've done like 200 quests already. I'm like, all right, what's next?
Well, you guys here. Let's talk about quests. You guys like it so far?
Yeah, I love this.
I really like it too.
So you're on the more casual side. Talk about how it's changed your game.
So I will say though that the MewQuest specifically, I didn't have enough Magikarp candy because I had just gotten a shiny Magikarp a couple weeks ago. Evolved into a shiny Gyarados, of course. So I didn't have enough Magikarp candy. So we've been going out every day. Whereas before I'm a stay-at-home mom, so I'm home with my son all day usually. And the only times we really played, I mean, we get out during the week once or twice a door raid. But now with getting the Magikarp candy, every night we've been like grinding for this candy.
How close are you?
I need
5 Magikarps.
Five more Magikarps.
So I told you where one is. It's right by my house at the Focus Stop. Just catch 10, get every Magikarp. So
that'll help me. But I'm very close. Dan, in solidarity, is waiting until I get my Magikarp candy.
We'll catch her on you together.
That's cool.
So you had a fun story with Buddy Candy. So what did you say you would do right before?
So I've actually increased the stakes substantially.
Okay, good.
So one of my Togekiss is one of my favorite Pokemon, and when I saw Shiny Togepi was like released in the game, I like had to have it. So I never like grinded for a shiny so much in like my life for any Pokemon. I like was hatching eggs, 9 eggs like nonstop the entire event. Every time I played.
He was going out for a walk, like 2-hour walk.
Which like I have like also kind of like limited time to play, but I think I hatched like probably like about 100 eggs, and I didn't get. I hatched another Togepi today. I still had an event.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, when the event
not shiny.
When the event ended, I kept all my 2-kilometer eggs, and I was like, I'm not putting any more incubators in until Community Day. I'm just gonna hatch you all in the infinite. If I have it, I have it. Otherwise, I'll get it.
Yeah.
But
he was getting tips from people on Discord, like, oh, pretty sure we got our Togepi eggs, like,
at this part. And I did, and I got 2 Togepi from that part.
That's funny.
But at some point halfway...
That's totally not a thing, you guys know,
It's not. So halfway through, I started getting, like, desperate, and was just looking for any, like, lucky charm I could get. So I said I was going to walk I have a perfect Togetic. I was gonna walk my Togetic as a buddy until I got my shiny, and I will not remove it. And it's still my buddy. And
so when we were all for the MewQuest changing our buddies to 1 kilometer buddies.
This was like 20 hours before it happened. You made this announcement.
Yeah. So I had to walk like 3 times as far as I would have had to walk. And I was like, I remember like. She was like about to get to the next stage where you had to get like, was it 5 buddy candy?
Yeah.
And I was like, I walked out, I was like jogging like to try and get like the extra distance so I could get her magic at the same time as her Magikarp.
That's funny.
And I've since increased it. I don't know if you saw it. I was talking to Jim about it.
No.
Putting it in gyms?
Yeah, I'm now only putting Togepis in gyms. So
He's running out of Togepi.
No, I hatched another one today, so I'm good. I have a lot of Togepi. And I am... After I saw you had 5,000 battles with your Mewtwo, I'm trying to see how many I can get with my Togetic since he's also my buddy. So I'm catching up quick.
You know you can put it in the back of your lineup and it counts as a battle one, right?
Yeah, you don't actually have to use it.
Oh, it's just
even though I use my Mewtwo.
Yeah, he uses Mewtwo.
What if he faints and then you fight the rest of the gym? It's out?
That I'm not sure. I think if it
sure
faints, it is done.
I think so too. I think it never actually enters if it faints.
Oh, I should put it in the back then.
Put it in the back.
Yeah, yes, I'm gonna do. Well, in spirit of it, I've been like a dummy fighting with the Togetic.
I see you didn't use it for the trio though, right?
It's a very beautiful thing.
I gotta rub it in.
No, I didn't use it for the trio.
I love that everyone who hatches on is tagging him.
So me and Bill went out and told everyone, like, whenever you hatch a shiny Togepi, make sure you tag Dan in the Discord.
Now tag him on Twitter too.
Yeah.
I went. Now every time I go, we have a trophy room.
Yeah.
And every time I see like a 1 next to the trophy room, I'm like, God damn, another shiny Togepi. I have to look at it.
At Ivy Pips on Twitter.
Yeah.
All your shiny Togepis.
Everyone you get, go for
Yep.
it.
So, you want to wrap it up with Duskberry Kill?
Yeah. You have a good one? Good set of 3?
No, I don't.
No. God.
So you do it.
We can cut this part, and it'll sound like I had one. As you guys know from the previous podcast, I don't cut it.
No.
So Barry, what is the Dust is power up and Barry is...
Dust is like, you want it so bad. You want it right now. You're going to power it up as high as you can.
Okay.
Right? Berry is long term. You know this is going to be really good. You want to have it forever. So you're going to put it in a gym, feed it berries, and get the candy to kind of collect to max it over time. And then kill is you're gonna delete it. I don't have a good narrative for that. Let's go Gen 2 starters.
Okay.
Dustberry kill Gen 2 starters.
Me first?
Yeah, you first.
Yeah.
I already know.
Go for it.
Even though this is contrary, I am the grass gym leader in like the Pokemon.
Are you?
I'm going to kill the Chikorita. Shall kill the Chikorita. I'm going to dust the Torchic.
Wrong gen.
Wrong gen.
Oh goddamn!
We're not cutting this either. Everyone's gonna know he messed that up.
I messed
Cyndaquil.
Oh, I'm gonna. Sorry, then I'm going to. I totally messed that up. You go. Let me think it over.
Let's see. Now I can't remember them.
All right, I'm going. I got
Cyndaquil,
my,
Chikorita, and Totodile.
I got my 3, right?
Yeah.
So I am going to dust Chikorita. I think it's awesome. I think it's adorable when Meganium or whatever. It's a lot of fun. I wish it was better in the game. I wish there was more use for like a single grass or whatever, but it's a cool looking Pokemon. I'm going to pump it up and use it in gyms. And then I'm going to bury Totodile because the whatchamacallit.
For alligator?
Yeah, for alligator is actually pretty good. It has like some uses here or there or whatever. So I think long term I'll get him in the game. And then I will kill Cyndaquil because I can get that task where you do fight 5 raids and get the Typhlosion anyway. So I can cheat my way around it.
Can I just kill all of them?
No.
I'd actually probably kill Chikorita.
Why?
I don't like the Meganium. I don't.
I hate you guys.
I'm sorry. You'll get over it. And then I would probably dust Totodile and bury Cyndaquil.
So I'm going to change my answer completely.
Go for it.
This shows you how much better the Gen 3 starters are in the
Oh,
game.
yeah.
But the Gen 2, I would dust Chikorita, kill Totodile, and I would bury Cyndaquil because I have a perfect Typhlosion and I need to power him up.
Nice.
There you go.
It's a good answer.
Yeah.
I think they're all cute.
You still gotta kill one.
Oh man. If I had to kill one, it would probably be Totodile. Just because I'm scared of him. He's an alligator and he can bite me. Okay. I would probably bury Cyndaquil because I like fire. So fire types, Typhlosion, pretty good. Long term, I think I would like that. And then I guess...
Only one left.
What do I have left? Dust.
Chikorita.
I would dust Chikorita. Chikorita,
So we're all slightly different.
Yeah.
Nice.
Should have done their Gen 3 starters.
Oh.
You want to really fast?
We can.
Go for it.
What, doing Gen 3?
Gen 3
Gen 3
starters.
starters now.
Ah, yeah.
Torchic, Chucha.
I love the Gen 3 starters.
I do too, they're all great.
For some reason I thought
And
Chikorita, I got them mixed up. They're so good. Based entirely off of their usefulness in the main series games, I'm going to dust Torchic, bury Mudkip, and trash Trico. And that's because they're really good. They are really good in the main series games.
That's pretty much my answer too.
They are like incredible. The Torchic is like banned from most competition. The Blaziken is
Was it
banned.
really?
Yeah.
Because he has an ability
Like,
to boost his
just-
speed.
He's
Okay.
too powerful.
He's too and Mudkip.
You have to use his second evolution.
Really?
No, it's a
Right?
non-hidden ability
Yeah.
version of it.
Oh.
Sorry, too much other talkers.
You next.
You want me to go?
Yeah.
So I would dust Trico, bury Torchic, and I would actually kill Mudkip.
I have the exact same answer.
Kill
Yeah.
Mudkip? You don't like Mudkip?
Just a meme ruined that.
Just
Oh.
mainly because it's not that useful in.
Yeah.
So I literally did dust the heck out of Trico because Sceptile was amazing against Groudon and Kyogre, and now it's been replaced by Venusaur.
Yes.
Yeah.
But,
We
so
both threw our arms up
Yeah.
because you can't see that. So
it was so useful and so good, and it really did a lot of fast damage. And I think that having that for raids is really good. But I think that Torchic's going to be like Blaziken's going to be really good at some point. Like as I'm doing the different counters for different bosses and stuff, like it sneaks into like these really weird niche spots. So there's going to be a raid at some point where it's just like, oh my god, I need 4 level 40 Torchics.
Yep.
You know, or again Blaziken.
yeah.
Someday I'll get the evolution right when I
Never.
play Pokemon. But no, I actually have a level 9 perfect Blaziken.
Oh, nice.
I think I caught it legit too. I don't think it's
I have a perfect maxed out.
Yeah. So, well, no, I have like 1,000 candy from when I was out in San Diego. When it's cloudy, they're everywhere. So.
Oh yeah, I think I've seen them. The Swampert.
So I'm gonna do it.
The Swampert is really unfortunate. He was a really good Pokemon, but the fact that he doesn't have like in the main games he has like an immunity to electric.
Yeah.
That makes like a big difference in his like viability.
Yeah.
What was he a good counter against? Was it
That was one of the videos we just
Jolteon, right?
Yeah, he snuck in there. I think he did sneak in against Jolteon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, good guys. Thank you. This was a lot of fun. Thank you so much for doing it.
Really appreciate it. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Hope you guys enjoy this. We had a great time making it, so
Definitely.
hopefully you enjoy it too.
So this could be you. Ask a question.
Yeah, brought me on the podcast.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We get 2 questions. One of them we make a podcast about. The other one we bring on the podcast. So yeah, if this isn't like selling, asking questions, I don't know what else is.
Yeah. Right. But thanks for listening, guys, and we'll talk to you soon.
Bye, everyone.